Hey guys, Shawn Ziem, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor, and the host for the Webtalk Legends Podcast. I want to welcome you to another one. It's number 55, and it's going to be something that I want to remind you. It's about learning, and you're listening to our guests sharing their story, talk about a number of different things to help you with your business, with your life, and making you a better person. And that's the goal. If we can improve 1% every single day, we're going to be a better person down the road. So I want you to sit back wherever you're watching in the world. We started early. We want to make sure that we get the value to you. Drop a hashtag live on the live, hashtag replay on the replay, and we want you to drop comments or emojis when we're talking. So we bring on a good friend of mine. What's up, Kris Davis? What's going on, man?
What's going on, brother? How are you?
Hey,
Long time.
it's been a long time. I know technology has been an issue, but guess what? Persistence is a key thing. Now, let's start off with that. We worked on this. We tried to do this a couple weeks ago. We had some difficulty. We tested it this afternoon. We had some difficulty before we went live. How important is persistence in your life?
It's everything, especially right now in this industry. It's an absolute meat grinder right now, day in and day out. It's been that way all of last year. It's pretty much, I would say, somewhat the same this year. I mean, there's definitely somewhat of an uptick, I would say, in my own business from different things that I've pivoted. In different areas of the lending world. I kind of shifted from residential to a lot of investor non-QM products. It's persistency is key. I get up every day. I go to my office every day. I make at minimum 50 to 100 calls every single day. And I follow up with every one of my leads. I try to maximize every minute of every day with being on the phone with somebody that's potentially looking to purchase and that's ready to purchase, and that fits in with the new landscape of my industry anyway, the lending industry.
Yeah, I mean, if you go out to a networking function, how do you introduce yourself, Kris? For those that are tuning in right now from all over the world right now.
Listen, whenever I'm at a networking event, I typically know the landscape of the networking event. I usually know some of the people that are there. It's pretty easy to see who's going. Usually it's a Facebook invite. There's a Facebook group. You see who's going, who's maybe, who's not. But you just go in with confidence, and everybody's pretty much on a level playing field when you go into a networking event. Nobody is really one-upping anybody. Everybody's a little nervous. Everybody's just trying to figure out who everybody is, where to where they fit in that specific networking group. I myself haven't done a ton of networking group meetings over the past year and a half. I try to do at least one a month, but I've been focusing very heavy on hitting the phones and speaking to as many people every day as I possibly can. That's just been my new strategy, and it seems to be working well. But networking is very important for many different industries. It's still a very good tool to build your network of referral sources. And I encourage everybody to do it at least one networking event, a month, whether it be a happy hour, a brunch, a breakfast, the town networking events, the Chamber of Commerce.
Yep.
Just try to get to something. There's people there. There's a lot of people that are very I don't want to say uneducated, but have never been through this type of market. And now we've had a lot of good years the past few years, and a lot of agents got in recently over the past few years, and they've never had to deal with the type of adversity that they're dealing with today. So it's a great opportunity to go out and share your experience if you've been through this before and you've made it through it. I've made it through two other very big market corrections in 2003 and 4, and then through 2008 and 9 were brutal years for the lending industry. And it was a great time for me to persevere again and share my experiences and kind of help others get through it, to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Now, with your cold calling, connection calls, follow up, What does it look like? What does it sound like? How do you go about it? I would love to hear. And for those that are watching, some people are all about sending emails. Some people are all about text messaging, but the phone is a powerful resource. But I would love for people to hear what you're supposed to do on a phone call. How does it work for you? Are you calling past clients? Are you calling cold leads? And what does it sound like? Similar.
I'm calling a lot of old contacts, you know, to try to see who's still in the industry. I do a lot of marketing and lead generation from multiple different lead sources. You know, and I have AI technology that does a lot of emailing and text messaging for me so that, you know, my main focus can be the phone call. A lot of people will sit here and say that getting on the phone is the old way of doing business. You should be, you know, dancing like a, on TikTok and making TikTok videos. Okay, cool. You're never going to have the personal engagement that you will have by getting somebody on the phone. It's not the same, you know, and I get it, times are changing, yes, but the majority of people who are in a position to purchase a home are not looking for lenders doing videos on TikTok. I just don't think it's there at that point yet. And I just look at how many applications I get on a weekly and monthly basis compared to other people in the industry in my office. And it's, you can't really compare. You know, getting on the phone is scary. I know a lot of people don't like to do it. They think it's I don't know, kind of like dirty, I don't know, and kind of like a lower class of trying to get business, but it's not, and it's still the number one way to generate new business. You know, I speak to an average of at least 15 to 20 people every single day, 5 days a week, 25 days out of the month, and even on the weekends. So, my probability of getting somebody on the phone, getting their application and getting them pre-qualified, is one-on-one direct. It's not through TikTok, Facebook Messenger, or anything like that. You know, when you get somebody on the phone, that is your opportunity right then and there to, find out what their wants and needs and concerns are. And, that's the biggest hurdle of gaining the trust of a new client, is understanding their wants, their needs, and their concerns. There's a lot of uncertainty in the market between interest rates, between, is there going to be another housing crash? Should I wait for values to drop? What can I afford? The availability of homes coming onto the market, and when you hear a voice when you hear somebody's voice and they're speaking to you one-on-one and they're taking the time to answer your questions, your comments and your concerns, you build a rapport with them. By the end of every phone call with multiple people that I speak to, I know about their kids, I know about my children. I coach my son's basketball team. These are all things that you bring up to kind of break the ice and make it a little bit more personal instead of all business, which I find makes the call a lot easier. And listen, it's an art. It takes time to get good at it. But again, it's like the 12-step program. It only works if you work it. You have to continuously do it. And that's my main source of getting business. And of course, I have lots of realtors that refer me deals, but unfortunately, a lot of buyers agents are dry right now. They don't have a lot of business to refer. A lot of buyers are buying cash. A lot of listing agents, a lot of buyers are going directly to listing agents. So I've been kind of going more so after listing agents as opposed to buyers agents. But my main goal every single day is to get up and talk to at least 20 to 25 people. And in order for me to do that, I typically have to make about 50 to 75 phone calls.
No, well said. And I want to shout out, we have Margarita on the call. We have Marlon. Marlon made a comment before. He said he remembers cold calling, doing Amway. He used to walk up to complete strangers at the mall. It's just having conversations. I have no problem cold calling, but I like that term connection call, because you're going to find out what the pain points are. So maybe you might not get a mortgage out of or insurance. In my case, it'll be something that we can help recommend some other thing, person, product, service that can help that individual, and then they'll come back to us for that. Those that are watching, don't forget hashtag live minimum or hashtag replay. If you're nervous, you don't want to communicate with us, drop some questions if you have it, or some statements. We appreciate every single one of you for being here. Don't forget, hit that like button and hit that share button. Now, using social media, a lot of people, that's why we're on right now. You have to use social media to get to the phone call. A lot of people think they could do a post and they're going to get all this business from it. This doesn't work that way. You use a post to get to a messenger, to get to a text message, to get to a phone call, then a face-to-face meeting. That's the direction. It takes a little bit of time, but it allows you to build business. How are you using social media right now, Kris?
I have a company that runs my ads and tracks the success rate of the campaigns that they do. And everybody wants to be like this social media hero. It's really hard. It's not as easy as people think, right? There's a lot of analytics that go into it, and I don't have time for that. That's not what I do, right? So I'd rather pay somebody that does understand the correct analytics and understands how to properly place the ads, what times, who, the engagement of the surveys that they're filling out. That's not my specialty. My specialty is lending, right? So I stay in my lane. I let the companies that I use do that work, and then I savagely attack the phone. So I'm not cold calling. I have very, very, very good lead campaigns. And, but again, it takes time. You have to find your rhythm. You have to understand how to make the call based off of the questions that they answered, right? So whenever I'm looking at a lead or an appointment that I have, because I have appointment setting with AI that sets up a lot of my calls, I look at the profile. So I see that they put down, oh, well, they have X amount of dollars in the bank. They've been at their job for however long. I have very specific questions to tailor the right client for me and what it is that I'm doing, right? So I don't just have the basic, well, have you been at your job for 2 years? I have very specific questions, detailed questions that will let me know if this person is ready to go for the non-QM type loans that I am searching for. So, always when you get a lead, try to read everything that's down on the bottom. What a lot of people do is they don't take the time to read all of the questions that people answer, because a lot of times the leads are they come in through funnels and they're answering surveys. Then the survey says, okay, well, what time do you want to call? Here's the person that's going to be calling. Read what they put down so that you can at least enter the phone call with some knowledge of them. So, you're breaking the ice. My rule is I always get 6 yeses, right? Once I ask my 6 very simple yes or no questions and I get them on the pace of saying yes, then I incorporate everything else. Well, how much money do you have in the bank? Do you have a savings account? A lot of things like that, and then lead into the more complicated questions of, give me your date of birth and give me your social. But 9 times out of 10, after I get the 6 yeses, it's yes to every single question after that. And I have no problem getting their date of birth and their social to pull a full credit report. But again, I go into it knowing, their job history, what they have in the bank, their time frame for looking for a property, and if they have, if they're a first-time investor or if they have a portfolio. When you go into a call and you have and you paid attention to the information that they wrote, it shows that you took the time to listen to what they filled in, right? So when you go in and you're like, yes, I am looking in 3 to 6 months. My approach is completely different at that point. Whether you're ready now or you're ready in 3 to 6 months, that's a different approach. I don't give. I'm not one of these guys that give me your date of birth, give me your social, let's go right now. Who knows what the market's going to be like 6 months from now? Get in, don't wait. A lot of this, date the rate, marry the house. There's a lot of, sneaky new tactics that people are using to try to, convince people that, now is the time to buy. I don't do that. I've been in the industry 19 years. Look, when you're ready, you're ready. And if you're not ready today to work with me and give me your information, that's fine. We'll have some follow-up calls. You'll be in my drip campaign. I'll touch base with you every couple of weeks. Fair enough. It's always yes. And 9 out of 10 times I wind up getting a call back because they feel comfortable because I was educating them and I consulted them instead of sold them.
Love it, man. We have margaritas. Like, what does the landscape look like in 2023? What best practices can be used in 2023 to be successful? And what is the industry going to look like?
I would say don't pressure people into purchasing a home. Right now, homes are very, very, very expensive. I'm sorry, I don't know what market she's in, but here in New Jersey, with rates being in the sevens, home values are through the roof. It's very important to, for me to let my clients be the ones to make the decision on whether or not they can handle a mortgage payment, right? A year ago, January, rates were in the fours. Now rates are in the sevens. So you're looking at a mortgage payment that could be $1,000 a month higher than what it was a year ago. And a lot of people think they're overpaying for homes right now. That's not really the case. Supply and demand dictates what the values are going to be. And right now we have a huge supply issue and we have a very high demand issue. So, homes are not overpriced. It's just what the market is saying as, hey, there's not 700 homes for sale every month. There's maybe 100 homes for sale, but there's 900 people looking for a home. So, there's still a lot of overbidding, no appraisals, no contingency, and a lot of people that don't have 20% or more to put down, they're getting pushed to the back burner. So, I always tell people, be ready for a fight. You have to be patient. The process a year ago took maybe 30 to 45 days. Now it could take up to 6 months, and you're probably going to get beat out 8 or 9 times before you wind up finally getting a house. You're probably not going to get the house that you thought you were going to get. And, just be patient. And if this is what you really want, I'll make it happen for you. But, I don't pressure anybody, because the last thing I want is to put somebody into a home because they're desperate to get into a home. And now all of a sudden, they can't handle a $3,400 a month mortgage payment. And, now they're struggling. There's not a lot of places to go here in New Jersey anymore. You have home values through the roof. Rents are through the roof for apartments, condos, townhouses, single family homes, everything. So I'm very careful. And, I let people know, hey, be ready to make a sacrifice right now if you want to purchase a home. I do think rates are going to probably calm down. I think, at all of the data that, I've been looking at, which I don't really do too much, right? I don't focus on what it's going to be a year from now. I focus on today. What can I do today to put money in my pocket now, right? A year from now is a year from now. Whatever it is, it is. I'll be selling whatever rate it is a year from now. If rates are 10%, I'll be selling 10%. If rates are 4%, I'll be selling 4%. But so I don't really focus too much on, data coming out and where it's going to be, because it doesn't help me, at the moment. I focus on what I can do now. And hey, look, here's where it is now. Here's what you're looking at right now. If you're comfortable with this, then we can move forward. If not, you let me know when you are, and we'll make a move. But what I think is going to wind up happening from everything that I've read, which I don't know if it's going to come to fruition or not, sometime around the end of 2023, 2024, rates should be, climbing back down, as hopefully inflation starts to clear out and, things start to normalize. Is that, fact? No, I don't know. So please don't take anything I'm saying, to heart. It could happen. It could not happen. Rates settled down a few weeks back, and then data came out, and all of a sudden rates shot back up again. We got a breath of fresh air for about 2 weeks, and then immediately kicked in the chest, and the wind knocked out of our sails a week later. So what I would say to anybody is don't focus on 2024, 2023. Just focus on what you could do today to be successful today. A year from now is a year from now. Focus a year from now. Worry about it when you're there.
Exactly. And it's all about persistence, as we talked early on. It's something to have. Marlon Austin's, finding those pain points, knowing how to address the excuses and objections, what you should be doing when you're on calls, etc. Let's switch gears and talk about how important is health and working out and nutrition and water and supplementation. Is that something that you're into, or is it something that you're flying by the seat of your pants?
I was, and then COVID happened, and I got real lazy and, comfortable and eating a lot. And, I would definitely say, of course it doesn't hurt. Would I say it is a major contributing factor of your success? It could be. It depends on the person, right? It depends on the individual. If you're an individual that needs that type of daily routine for you to maintain a steady mental positive flow, great. Working out is absolutely fantastic. Taking supplements, it depends on your scenario. I would consult with a professional at like a vitamin shop or a GNC and explain to them what your goals are, what your eating habits are, and what exactly you're looking to accomplish, and get some perspective from an actual professional. You see a lot of these Facebook ads, I'm a victim of it. I see something, I see this guy all jacked up and sweating, and I'm like, man, maybe if I take that stuff, I'll look like him. And then I'll order it. I won't take it. It'll sit in the cabinet. My wife laughs at me 3 months down the road because I just wasted, $600 on supplements that I never use. So I would say, start slow, start with something realistic, and set goals, right? So if you're looking to lose weight, how much weight are you looking to lose? Okay, if you're looking to lose 25 pounds, all right, set a goal. I'm looking to lose 25 pounds. My goal is to lose 3 pounds a week. Here's how I can achieve that, and set a realistic goal that you can actually accomplish. A lot of times people go way too hard, way too fast, and they wind up falling off the wagon and having to start all over again. And that can be discouraging, when you don't meet your goal. So I would say just go slow, and build yourself up instead of coming out of the gates like a maniac, and then quitting 2 days later because you can't even walk because you're too sore.
That's huge advice right there. A lot of people do that. They just go balls to the wall. The next day or two, now they can't do anything because they can't move. You take it slow. You modify. You make things happen. You keep yourself moving so that you can continue moving throughout your week, days, months, etc. So it becomes a lifestyle. It's not just that you're on a diet or you're on an exercise kick. Or I heard in the news, strength training is back. It's the new thing. It's always important to do it. If you're not doing it, you should be doing it because you want to make yourself stronger, build muscle so you can live longer if that's what you're focused on. Health, I always say health is wealth, man. If the more energy you can have because you're working out, you can put that into your day, and it could definitely help you with mental health as well.
Absolutely.
We have a problem with that.
I do almost a 2-mile walk every day at my office. I'm very, very blessed. I work in a beautiful town, Red Bank, and the downtown area is where my office is. It is a beautiful area to go for walks in. The homes are beautiful. The shops are beautiful. It's very much designed for people to move around on foot and on bike. And every day it's the same time before I eat my lunch. I drink a bottle of water, and I go for about a 2-mile walk, whether it's cold or hot. Sometimes I'll even do it in the rain, depending on what I'm wearing. If it's not raining too bad, but I do it every day, and I feel great. You breathe fresh air. It helps me get through the end of the day, that last push, for the end of the day to make the phone calls, to get the document checkoff list out, to upload the documents that I just got, to call my assistant and follow up with, what we discussed in the morning. It gives me that little boost, whereas, I could just sit in my office, watching videos on Facebook. But, instead I get up, I go, I do the walk, and it feels great. It feels really good. But when I'm back, I feel like I accomplished something. And when you feel like you accomplished something, it, like you said, it opens the door to you feeling like you can accomplish other things, right? Hey, I just did this 2-mile walk. I'll send this email. I'm going to make this phone call. I'll take this call, whereas somebody who's complacent, just sitting at their desk, eating snacks and, watching videos on Facebook, that call comes in. You're like, oh, I don't want to talk to this person. Oh, I'll send that email out later. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll get to it tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes, and now you have more stuff, and everything builds up, before you know it, now you're backtracking, you're losing track of things that you need to do and following up with people that you need to follow up with. And that's a huge, huge thing right now. If you're a lender, follow up is key, because there are, a million different ways people are calling your clients, trying to outsell you. And if you're not constantly in their ear and you're not the one that they trust, believe me, somebody in this market will. And that is for sure. So follow up, I would say, is 70% of the key to being successful right now in this market is excessive follow-up. Even if you don't have anything to say to that person, just give them a call. Hey, look, didn't want you to think I forgot about you. Not calling with anything serious. Just wanted to touch base, let you hear my voice, let you know everything is okay. Believe me, that goes so far when people think that you are on top of mind.
That's it, man. I want to end on this. What were you doing 20, 21 years ago before you got into the mortgage business? A lot of people just fall into it. But what were you doing before that you were leading up to your career that you started and continue to do every single day?
Well, I'm 38 and I started in the mortgage industry at 18, turning 19. It was, before that, I was installing fence for a very large fence company here in New Jersey. And every winter we got laid off. And it pissed me off because I hated collecting unemployment. I wasn't that person. I wanted to work. And so, I answered a little ad. I don't even know how I saw this ad in the paper for sales cold calling, and I knew I was always good at sales. And there was everybody said, Kris, just go into sales. You're a good salesman. You're not afraid to talk to people. You're outgoing. And so I answered this ad, and it wound up being the owner of the first bank that I worked for. I went in as a cold caller. After 2 weeks, he's like, you're wasting your time. You might as well just become a loan officer. I became a loan officer at 19 and never looked back.
That is amazing, because a lot of people I know, they fall into it. They had a career change. Or I was doing it back in 2000 and 2002. Because a buddy of mine's like, man, you coach, and I was making like $3,500 to coach football, freshman football in high school. He's like, you can make that on one loan, and I'm like, what? I'm like, teach me. So I sat in there, did a couple closings, and I was like, wow, this is pretty crazy. And that was before. Now you have to be licensed.
Right.
Back then you just had to have a solicitor's license, totally different thing. So it's definitely something that, it's interesting on how people fall into that business. Any final thoughts you can give everyone that's on here today and watching live and also on the replay?
I would say, look, these are definitely trying times in the industry. We came off of 2 historic years where it was a water fountain that we couldn't turn off. It was just so great. Rates are so low. Anybody could qualify for a mortgage because rates are so low. And now it's real, right? And now you actually have to really work and hustle hard. So what I would do is, number one, stay on the phone, talk to as many people as you possibly can. I'm finding 1 out of every 30 applications is a ready-made deal. So, it's a very daunting task just to get to 30 applications for 99% of people. And, just know that with all bad times, there is a silver lining. Just hang tight. And, if you can, have some side hustles that, you can kind of incorporate into what you're already doing, which I do. I have some side hustles. I sell solar. I have business to business sales, things like that, and just to try to, make ends meet. Last year was a very hard time. This year is probably financially going to be very hard for people. Keep your debt low. Don't overspend. Be frugal, and, just hang tight and keep your head down and stay on the phone.
Well said, man. I appreciate you coming on tonight, rocking and giving some massive value. If you're just tuning in now, definitely wait for the replay, catch the whole episode. And Kris, thanks again. Guys, we hope that you have an awesome rest of your day.
Have a good night, guys.